You're watching 11 Alive Morning News. 11 minutes of nonstop news starts now.
Your 11 minutes of nonstop news starts with a check of your weather. Chesley, we're getting ready for a little bit of rain.
To our far northwestern counties, we're starting to see that light rain up here. Dade, Walker County, as far as down as northern parts of Floyd County, seeing a little bit of light rain as well. The rain that's off to the west of us will continue to break up as it moves in, so we're not expecting heavy amounts of rain, but we will impact your commute this morning, especially if you're getting out a little bit later, maybe closer to the 8 or 9 o'clock hour. So we'll watch that. There could be a rumble of thunder or two associated with it, but we're not anticipating any severe weather at all. Temperatures in the 60s just about everywhere you look. We got a few 50s up here to the north and down to the far south. Well, we're watching those temperatures warm up this afternoon. Not as warm as we saw yesterday, but 69 degrees by noon. 72 will be our afternoon high temperature, so expect a cooler afternoon with those winds a bit breezy at times. Cheryl.
All right, Chesley, thank you. 7 new state laws will take effect this summer aimed at helping keep you and your family safer. And local leaders say they're looking to attack Atlanta's rising crime from every angle. Molly Oak is live breaking down the details for us. Molly, crime is layered. It's a complex problem. So what are these bills looking to address specifically?
Two real key points, Cheryl. One, supporting law enforcement officers, and two, upping punishment for criminals. We want to take a look at a couple of those bills right now. 1216, it creates tougher penalties for street racing and running from the officers. Another House bill we're looking at, 1188, gives prosecutors the power to charge sex offenders with separate charges for each image of child pornography. Now, other bills include incentives and support for officers. One expert we spoke with says that's really important in attracting great officers to our local communities. Of course, we got a breakdown of all of those bills now signed into law on 11alive.com. Guys.
Molly, thanks. This morning, police are telling us more about their efforts to keep a popular area in downtown Atlanta safe after a group of teens were in a shootout. APD says it's now partnering with several different police agencies, from MARTA to the Congress Center to Georgia State and Georgia Tech Police, all of them to help respond to crimes downtown more quickly. APD says Georgia State officers were there to help right away after 5 teenagers were shot near the Waffle House Saturday night near Centennial Olympic Park. The teenagers ended up in the hospital. We have a new study to share with you this morning that parents really need to hear. Preteens and teenagers are getting their hands on guns in startling numbers. The number of kids 12 to 17 years old carrying a gun rose nearly 41%. Researchers from Boston College looked at the numbers over nearly 2 decades. Researchers say an important detail in the study is where they're seeing more guns. They say the most increase was for notable white, rural, and higher income teenagers. A small plane is still sitting on the side of the road this morning in Henry County. Police say the plane stalled during takeoff last night and crashed into a power line. 2 people were on the plane. They are okay. In fact, they didn't even have to go to the hospital. We reached out to the FAA and it says the plane's going to stay there until it's finished with its investigation. So Miller's Mill Road between Country Mill Lane and Dickerson Cove Drive will stay closed. In a scathing letter, the state school superintendent says he will not recommend the DeKalb Schools plan for renovations. The district voted to spread the money out instead of focusing on repairing mold and sewage problems at Druid Hills High School. Superintendent Richard Wood says much of the state's COVID funds have not been spent, and that money could be used to fix the problems. This morning, people who live in Atlanta's Old Fourth Ward are upset about a Georgia Power project that could remove some of the historic homes there. The utility company could use eminent domain to acquire a number of single-family homes in order to implement a plan to upgrade the substation. Spelman College enters a new era with its next president. The historically black college has selected Dr. Helene Gale as its 11th president. Dr. Gale is an epidemiologist who spent decades fighting AIDS and HIV before she became the leader of an international anti-poverty group. The largest income tax cut in Georgia's history will be official in a matter of hours. Governor Kemp is going to sign the bill into law. Christy Diaz is at the state capitol. Christy, you spent the morning really researching the details of this bill. Overall, it's expected to slash taxes by more than $1 billion. But I'm curious, how does that break down for families?
Let me break it down for you. This is a major rewrite of the state tax code, and this is good news for you and your family. This cut would create a flat state income tax of 5.49% starting in 2024, and then decreasing each year until it gets down to 4.9% by year 2029. And for perspective, right now the top rate is 5.75%. It would increase standard exemptions covering amounts someone could earn before beginning to pay state income tax. For example, a single taxpayer would get a $12,000 exemption, and married couples would get, eventually, a $24,000 exemption with allowances to deduct $3,000 for each child or dependent. There is a small catch here, what Republicans are calling protections. The tax cuts would pause any year state revenue doesn't grow by 3%, is lower than in the past 5 years, or doesn't have enough money in its savings account. And Governor Kemp is set to sign this into law at 3 o'clock this afternoon. He is set to be in a restaurant in South Georgia for the signing. Cheryl.
All right, Christy, thank you. Time now is 6:55. Here's a look at what you need to know before you head out the door this morning. The White House's coordinator of COVID-19 response is going to give an update this afternoon. The coordinator's been pushing Congress to get more money for vaccines and some other resources as they're watching a surge of infections in other countries. Right now, nearly 220 million Americans are fully vaccinated. That's just over 77%. Atlanta Mayor Andre Dickens is getting ready to sign legislation to help create more parks and green spaces in the city. Mayor Dickens will give details this morning for the plan to get 75 acres of land from the former site of the Chattahoochee Brick Company for some of these new developments. And today, Fulton County Schools will meet with parents to share cybersecurity strategies and informations that they can use to protect their families at home. Here are a few of the tips. Limit screen time, use parental controls, and get involved in your child's online life by paying attention to what games and apps they're using. And tonight, the Atlanta Hawks have a lot on the line. They have to win against the Heat in Game 5 in Miami, or they'll be done. Miami leads the series 3-1. The game tips off at 7:30 in Miami, but there's going to be a big watch party at State Farm Arena. It starts at 4 this afternoon. Chesley?
All right, Cheryl, we got plans for this afternoon. By noon, we're still looking at a few scattered showers in the area. They will be coming to an end at that point. 69 degrees should be our temperature by then. By 3 o'clock, we'll go up to around 70. Cooler than we were yesterday. We were well into the 80s. Those winds out of the northwest about 11 miles per hour. Gusts could be as high as 20 miles per hour at times. 72 degrees will be our afternoon high temperature. We'll keep that around by 6 o'clock. As you're driving home, we'll start to see the sunshine breaking out behind those clouds, and we'll stay nice and dry for the Braves game tonight, taking on the Cubs at 7:20 is first pitch.
All right. Get the umbrella ready, but it's just a blip. You know, when you have a beautiful week to look forward to, you know, it's just Tuesday. We're just getting started here, folks.
That's absolutely right. One day of rain, and then the rest of the week nice and dry. We'll take it.
I think we can deal with that.
Yeah.
80s, right? Oh, I love the 80s.
By the end of the week.
Yeah.
You know, we'll look forward to that.
All right, we're sending our Atlanta Hawks some luck tonight in Miami. Let's hope they can pull out a win. We'll be watching. Today's show is coming up next. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning for 11 Live Morning News. Have a great day, everybody.
I need it in my life. I need it.